Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Dean, a photographer and retoucher here at IdbProFotos, a channel that's dedicated to everything photography. Today guys, we are going to explore ways in which you can improve your photography games. Yes guys, so I am going to be sharing with you 10 things which I think you should be doing if you want to attract more models to work with you. So guys, without further ado, sit back and let's have a chat. So welcome back and thank you for sticking around. So guys, without further ado, let's get right into it. So you're probably here because you might be frustrated because maybe you're struggling to find models to work with, or maybe you are getting models to work with but you're just not getting enough or the sort of quality of models that you want to be attracting. So I'll give you a bit of background. When I started my journey as a fashion model photographer, which is probably some 5-6 years ago, I'd always been a photographer. I used to shoot with all sorts of different cameras, you know, I'd be shooting landscape, families, all sorts of things. Then it just get to a point where I just thought, you know what, I was more interested in fashion photography, beauty photography, as well as product photography. Okay, so I thought those were my thing. So I just really went for those. So I just kind of started going on YouTube, learning ways to improve my lighting and all these kind of things before. And I also used my missus as my guinea pigs. I used to practice shooting with my missus at home, practice lighting and everything like that. And obviously got to a point where I was comfortable and I thought, you know what, I'm ready to go and work with models. But then I came to another challenge, big massive challenge, which is that nobody wanted to work with me. Nobody wanted to work with me. I was like, I remember I joined quite several groups on Facebook, you know, like photography modeling groups, and I used to put some casting out. There was, I'm looking for a model to work with, this and that, blah blah blah. This is some of my work, and you'd get literally tumbleweed moments. Nobody responded or anything like that, and that used to kind of get me disheartened. I'm thinking, oh god, I can't be bothered. I'm gonna sell all this camera gear. What's the point? Blah 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 blah, and all this kind of thing. But I just had to kind of sit down and reflect a little bit and just look at myself as a photographer and think, is there anything that I can improve to enhance my appeal? So if I'm gonna go to somebody and want to collab, I need to add value to them somehow. So I had to kind of take a step back a little bit and just look at how I was working. So these are the 10 things I've been able to adopt into my ways of working, and if I'm being honest, I think it's been working so far. Okay, so the first thing we're going to talk about is your brand. Okay, your brand is your most valuable asset. Okay, that is the biggest thing that you should be doing anything to protect and to enhance. So the 10 things we're going to talk about, they all build into your brand, guys. Okay, so I'll give you an example of Mercedes and maybe Dacia. Okay, one car costs X amount, very expensive. The other one is a little bit more affordable. But why is it that somebody is willing to part with 100 grand to get a Mercedes instead of getting a Dacia for a third of the price, whatever it is? Why is it? Because they're both cars and essentially they do the same thing. They get you from point A to point B. But there are certain things about a Mercedes that are a little bit more appealing when somebody's willing to part with more of their money, because it's status, it's a brand which is good quality, it's known for luxury, it's a status symbol, you know, things like that. These are all things that Mercedes have invested over the years, advertising and so many different things, with ad campaigns and all this kind of stuff. So which is why, similar to Mercedes, you need to be precious about your brand. You need to make sure that your brand is always well represented. It's always got good reputation, timekeeping, you know, consistency. You got a signature to your work and all sorts of things. Okay, so let's get that out of the way. So the brand, have that at the top of your head. That's the most important thing. So the next thing that we're going to talk about, guys, is professionalism. Okay, right? This is one of a biggie, and I think it's worse now because of social media. People are spending more time on social media, and people make the mistake of using their business, their photography account, to get involved in things that have got nothing to do with photography, i.e. getting involved in political debates, getting involved in arguments and all this kind of stuff. And I'm thinking, why don't you just have a separate private account for all that messing about and keep that separate from your photography? That's the first one. So again, just be professional. Your conduct will go a massive way. It will be a massive reflection on your business, because you are the photographer, you are the business, okay? So think about that. Again, be the sort of person who's happy to help others, be known for doing something positive to the community. Don't be just a person who's a taker. Always want to take. Think about yourself. It's like, oh, I've got this location. I don't want to share this location. This is my location. If I give it to somebody else, oh, they're gonna get better photos than me. I hear that one quite a lot of times. Shouldn't matter, especially since we're going to talk about the next point, okay? So the next point is, which is point number 2, is having a style, okay? Having a style is one of the most important things as a photographer. This is the thing that differentiates you from your competition, okay? So this means you shoot with somebody, same location, same model, and your work will still look distinctively different from the next photographer, okay? So this is what you need to do some hard thinking and think, what is your niche? What do you love shooting? More important, what do you enjoy shooting? Okay, don't just shoot things to get the clout or to get going with the trend, okay? You need to have a style. You don't want to go to your Instagram account, for example. You find that there's images, you've taken photos of dogs and cats at home, your wife, your kids, your next thing, there's a couple of photos of models here and there. Find out there's granddad and Christmas dinner and all, these things that go like just a mishmash, just chaos. You need to really just streamline your profile. So you've got a certain language. People know when they come to your profile, say, oh, this photographer is into weddings, this photographer is into this, into that. Basically stay in your lane, okay? Just have a style. So this could be things like, your color grading is quite consistent, because this is one thing I'm just going to give you a bit of a tip. I don't tend to work with influencers quite a lot, fashion influencers anyway, for one main reason. Usually their work has got a certain look to it. They like to use certain filters on their work. And because I'm very precious about my style, I'm not willing to change my style to fit their theme, basically. So that's why I refuse to work with them, really, because I don't want to change my style to fit it. It's all about being precious with your brand and sticking to that. Trust me, that's how you'll get respect. And it kind of goes back to what you're thinking about, how is that going to increase or give me more models? Again, it kind of feeds into your brand. Okay, you're known for something. And if somebody's looking for services, photography services, you can actually get people recommend you because they know that you do a certain niche and you do really well. So you're focusing on that, okay? The next thing is your portfolio. Now, this is very important. Again, this is quite visual. So this is the first thing that people tend to see, really. So you need to make sure that your portfolio is up to date, okay? Make sure that your portfolio is not only up to date, but you sharing your best work, okay? This goes back to what we talked about, just having a mishmash of different things here and there. We need to know what you actually specialize in, what are you good at, okay? If you're gonna be going to somebody and asking to do a collab, you need to add value. You need to give them a reason why they need to work with you. You can't just say, oh, just because, oh, bought myself a nice camera today with the lens, let's get on the blower to Naomi Campbell, if you can get through to it anyway. Hi Naomi, I just got myself a Nikon and a decent lens. How about we meet up at my local pub, whatever it is, let's have a little shoot out. If she was to look at your profile, she's probably not gonna see your message, but if she was, she'll probably look at your profile and think, well, if there's nothing there to justify why she should really collab with you, she'll probably just say no. Well, you might be thinking, the reason why my portfolio is not up to date, surely, is because I don't have any models to work with. That's a very valid point, actually, to be honest. Well, I've got an answer for you here, my friend. What you need to do is you need to start investing a bit of money to work with experienced professional models. Okay, what that's going to do is going to give you some really good images, because these models, they understand lighting, they understand posing. So that means you can just focus on taking the photographs. So you got to really start thinking about just have a relevant portfolio that's up to date. You don't want to be keep sharing images from 3 years ago, 4 years ago when you had these photo shoots once upon a time. Start keep sharing them all the time, because you start living gaps in your portfolio. People start asking questions. Why is this person not consistent? Is there something about them? Are they like a bit of a weirdo or something like that? And trust me, you don't want to be labeled a weirdo in the photography modeling community. Yeah, that could have some major implications on your career or your hobby, as it may. Okay, so yes, have a really good portfolio and keep it up to date. Okay, so next one, we've got all that boxed off. So again, be organized. I can't really stress this one enough. Organized. So you've got an idea in your mind. Okay, I want a photo shoot. I want to shoot X, Y, Z. Okay, plan. Think about, where do you want to shoot it? Do a budget. Can I afford to shoot in a studio now? If I'm going to be shooting outdoors, what are the weather conditions going to be like, or likely to be like? Can I afford the lighting, if you're going to be using lighting, batteries, all these kind of things? Am I going to need a makeup artist, a hairstylist, a fashion designer to borrow some clothes or whatever, you know? And so we're going to take a little pause here. If you've got a bit of change, I would highly, highly recommend you get yourself a makeup artist on your shoot, if you can. Honestly, they will make your shoot. Okay, I was gonna say make or break, and I thought, no, the break, get away from, they will literally make your shoot. Because makeup artists, these are professionals. They understand what I like to refer to as photography makeup, okay? There's nothing worse than working with a model with makeup that's how can I best describe it? Like powdery looking makeup. It's like there's no sheen or glow to the makeup whatsoever. It's like the face is a completely different color to the body, and it's like you've got to then edit all that in Photoshop to try and match it together. Maybe they've got fake tan, which is, oh my god, that is my pet hate. Fake tan. Anyway, so fake tan, it's all patchy. You've got to deal with all that stuff in Photoshop afterwards. And if you don't come with if you don't produce good results, you're the one to blame. You're the photographer. You're supposed to work the magic, remember? So yes, you know, this is all about managing expectation. Plan, and also make sure that you work and line up any really good talented people to support you with the project. So again, this is what you can think about. Am I shooting TFP, which is time for photography, so more like a collab kind of thing, so no money is exchanged here, or are you wanting to pay the model? So these are the things that you need to consider. Okay, so you got your plan together. So now you need to go into the next stage, which is scouting. Scouting for your talent. Okay, so you know that you want to get a makeup artist. You know that you need to get a model, however many models you want to get. You've got a plan, you've got a theme, you know, this is where I want to shoot, the time and everything. So you start looking around on so many different outlets, you know. There's Purple Pot, which is one of my the ones that I use not often enough. I need to use it a little bit more, but it's really good for scouting. There's also things like Instagram, Facebook, really good for that. So have a quick look around, see if there's anybody that you like the look of, you know. Jot them down. Don't get in touch with them yet. Okay, that's fine. So you found the talent that you want. Okay, makeup artist. Then you go into the next stage, which is obviously make sure you check your references. Okay, so here you want to be checking things like are they always on time? Do they ever cancel? Do they have a bad attitude? Do they have a bad rep? All these things you want to look and check before you start contacting people. So you're probably asking yourself, how are all these things, maybe you got this at the back, how are these things going to help me get more models? Don't forget what I said before. All these things build into your brand. Now at the end, you kind of see the picture where I'm trying to get with this. So you've checked your references and everything, so you know that I'm happy with this person, of these people that I'm going to be working with. So the next stage is the communication. So okay, communication, again, very, very important. We did touch up on this a little bit, yeah, when we talked about being a professional. So it's all about your conduct, having respect for people, how you speak to people, how you contact people. You know, it's how you ask people sometimes that'll make a difference between somebody agreeing to do a collab or not. So, you know, just remember that models are also people just like you and I. So just respect for one another. You know, it goes a long way. So again, get in touch with your talent, either be it Instagram, Facebook, and say, look, this is my shoot. I've got a plan. Okay, you've already got everything planned. You know, you get your plan, you know that way you want to shoot here, you want to shoot there. So you go to them with a proposal. This is a fully documented proposal, so they've got everything they need to know about that shoot, so they can make a decision. And what's that gonna do? It's gonna do, one of the main things it's gonna do is gonna make people think, wow, this guy is so organized. This guy is like a breath of fresh air. They're like, wow, where has this guy been all my life? I need to work with this guy. You know, you sound professional, you sound like you know what you're doing. And that in itself is a massive thing, you know, because people will always go by first impressions. You know, when somebody first gets in touch with you, you know, first impressions always count. You know, you can tell if somebody's just a little bit unsure about themselves by the way they come to you. Sometimes they'll come into your DM like, hi, yeah, I was just wondering, I'm a guy with a camera, I just got some new gear, this very expensive Canon, and I got this lens and I just wanted to give it a go. I just wondered if you've got some time to have a little shoot about. I was like, mate, nobody cares about your gear. You're talking to the wrong audience, like literally. The model is not interested in that. You know, you just need to kind of tell them, you're the profile, I want to shoot you. This is what I want to shoot. Are you interested? Stop wasting time talking about the geek stuff. Save that for your conversation with other photographers when you go to the pub or something. You know, just straight to the point. That will really just set the scene and just make you this person who's so organized. Breath of fresh air. So this kind of goes back to what I was saying, brand enhancement, my friend. This is what it is, okay? So we've done the communication. Just make sure that one thing that I'm going to stress. Sometimes I find myself, I book shoots like months in advance, or 3 or 4 months in advance. Just going to make sure that you speak to your talent on a regular basis. If you can create a group or something, if you've got several people working on one project, so you can all just kind of feed off each other and just keep chatting and reassure them that everything is going to happen, blah, 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 blah. If you need to pay any deposits, likewise, ask what the rates are and get everything boxed off, you know, money-wise and all this kind of, but also tell your talent that before you send them any deposits, you're going to send them a model release form, which is our next point, guys. Model release form. Now, very important is a model release form. Why? Because you are managing expectations here. So everybody is going to know what the expectation is. So again, you're going to document and summarize the location, time, shoot, everything. You're going to put everything in one big document and you just send it to your talent and say, look, this is it. This is what we agreed. Have a read through. These are my terms. If you agree with them, sign them. So again, you could talk about things to do with, for example, how many images you're going to deliver. If it's a collab, if it's a paid shoot, you might want to say, no, I'm not going to give you any images. Like for example, with mine, if it's usually if I'm shooting models for, say YouTube, it might be that they might want to collab most of the time. But again, if it's a paid one, I might want to say, look, yes, I'll pay you, but these videos, they'll also be videos alongside photographs, and the videos will be uploaded to separate projects on YouTube, and obviously the videos will be monetized, and you don't want them sort of coming back and later on and start trying to get claims to the copyrights or profits and all this kind of stuff. These are things that you can put into your model release. Very, very important. So just for you guys, I'll give you a template that I use, that I've created for my business. I'll link it down below in the description. Feel free to download it. Just change and remove, obviously reference the IdbProFotos and put your business or your name and start using it, guys. Trust me, do not leave yourself exposed. At the bottom of the release form, there is also a bit which you need the model to sign after the photo shoot, which is just to say everything went to plan. Nobody was fiddled with and all that kind of stuff, you know, because you never know. Trust me, this is to protect both the model and yourself, to make sure that there's not been any inappropriate conduct on the shoot. So again, protect each other, guys. Okay, so that's that. Download it, start using it right now. So again, that will make you look, having a contract makes you look legit, doesn't it? It does. It's not just word of mouth. It summarizes everything black and white. This is what we agreed. This is what we're gonna do. Yeah, okay, that's it, perfect. So the next bit, cancellations and timekeeping. Oh my God, I can't really stress enough the importance of making sure that canceling a photo should be the last resort. You know, maybe if you've got COVID or something, or you can't walk or whatever it is, don't get into the habit of doing it, because you get known for it, and that will give you bad rep. It's something that's so difficult to undo, and it's one of my pet hates. And timekeeping. I've been to certain shoots where I've been waiting for the model for like 2 hours, and I'm thinking, should I just turn back and go home? Or, you know, and it's the worst thing. Just imagine you just stood there with all your gear, waiting for someone who keeps saying, I'm round the corner. And it's like every second is ticking away. I'm like, is this person even gonna turn up? They keep saying, I'm round the corner. I'm like, well, how big is this bloody corner? Like they keep saying, you know. So again, this is things that will damage your brand. Just imagine if you're working or collabing with other artists, like makeup artists, hairdressers, and all this kind of stuff. Time is money, and this model is running late. It's going to be a reflection on you, really, because you're the one who owns the project. Yes, it will impact the model, but it is going to damage your reputation. So this is why it's important to make sure you vet and filter your models by obviously checking all your references and things like that, which I did mention at the start. See, so there is a link with everything. So these things will reflect on you as the photographer or as the person who's obviously arranged the event. So just make sure you iron out, make sure you're on time every time, no cancellations, and that will go really well. And the last thing that we're going to talk about, guys, is delivery. So how are you going to deliver these images, and how many images are you going to deliver? So that again will be something that you list in your model release form anyway, but I usually say 10 images if it's like a TFB shoot, or if it's paid, won't give any images at all. Or sometimes you get what's called parts TFP, which is something I don't tend to do. It's half the deal, basically, half the model fees for half the photos, that sort of thing. But again, you know, tell them you're gonna deliver the images whether 4 weeks after the shoot, a week after the shoot, you decide. Also how you're gonna provide the images. Is it gonna be Dropbox or whatever? Why I use Dropbox anyway. And again, one thing that I tend to do is because this is just for integrity purposes, really, I always make sure that before we wrap up the shoot, I'll give the model my camera and just get them to flick through the images and just delete anything that they're not comfortable with, because sometimes you might get them shooting certain poses which might get them exposed, sort of, you know, the private parts or whatever it is. So I don't need to be keeping stuff like that, because that's not really what I do, which kind of brings me on to another point where I don't really understand why certain photographers will keep images that are a little bit not decent, you know, for extended periods of time after. Anyway, hey, ain't none of my business, so I'll stay out of it, but it's not me. But anyway, yeah, just kind of making sure that we don't, the models feel comfortable, that they don't have any images that they're not happy with out there. So again, it's for my peace of mind as well. I'll get them to get rid of those, and we agree on the images. I'll compress all the images that I've taken on the day, put them in a folder on Dropbox, and say, look, can you pick an X amount of photos for me to then retouch it? Obviously, just make sure you tell them not to share any of the raw unedited images, so and so. Okay, so in essence, that is what I think you should be doing differently to enhance your brand. And once you do all these things all the time, this will keep feeding into your brand, enhancing your brand, and people will see you as the Rolls Royce of the photographer as well. Everyone will be screaming, I want to work with this, I want to work with this person. They're absolutely amazing. You know, reputation is important, so never ever take it for granted. Trust me, I'm pretty sure this is not the full list. There are other things I've probably missed out. But these are the things that I've done, and I just feel like, you know, they've worked for me, and I just wanted to share with you guys. And hopefully this will make a difference and start getting more models wanting to work with you guys. So I hope this has been helpful, and use the comment section if you feel like I've left anything out. And you know, this is a community, this is what photography, this is why I started this channel, to help each other out. So use the comment section, guys. Suggest anything else if you feel like I've left anything out, or if you feel like anything that I've mentioned is really sort of helped you, and also sorts of things. So guys, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate you. If you don't already do, be sure to hit that subscribe button and those notification bells, and that can let you know every single time when I upload new content. Okay, so again, if you want to get in touch with me for anything, if you want to collab, or if you want to work with me, check out my website, www.idbProFotos.co.uk, or simply go to my Instagram at IdbProFotos, like right here. Yeah, just literally scroll through. If I'm somebody that you'd like to get involved with, drop me a note. So thank you guys for watching, and don't forget, until next time, keep shooting. Thank you.